Imagine pouring your heart into a huge project, or training for months for a big game, only to fall short when the moment arrives. It's a heavy, hollow feeling. That disappointment can drain your energy, making walking away feel like the only relief. It's the point where most people decide they've had enough. This sense of defeat is a universal part of the human experience. Even those with the most power and responsibility have sat in that same darkness, wondering if they should just give up. King Bruce of Scotland held a position of high status, but his crown and his kingdom couldn't protect him from the pain of failing his people. This monument to Robert the Bruce reminds us of his historical power, yet at this moment in time he felt small. He had tried to achieve a great deed for Scotland and failed repeatedly. He retreated to a lonely place, away from his court and his soldiers. He sat there in total despair, eventually making a firm decision. He would give it all up and walk away from his mission. Just as he made that choice, a tiny spider dropped from the ceiling on a silken thread, dangling right in front of his face. This small interruption forced the king to pause. His focus shifted from his own heavy thoughts to the immediate, tiny struggle of the insect right before his eyes. The spider had a long way to go to reach its home in the cobwebs high above on the ceiling dome. It hung there, suspended by a rope of silk so fine it was barely visible. The insect began to crawl upward with everything it had. It made progress for a moment, then lost its grip and came sprawling back down to the ground. It didn't stop to rest. It tried again instantly, only to fall lower than before. It lay there for a second, looking dizzy and faint from the impact. The task was grueling. The thread was delicate and slippery, and every inch of the climb drained the spider's energy. Its head was spinning and its feet were tired. This physical struggle mirrors the mental exhaustion we feel when we work toward a difficult goal. Trying hard is draining, and hitting the ground after an honest effort is painful. This diagram shows the spider's progress. We can track each attempt as a sharp climb followed by a drop back to 0. 1, 2, 3. The insect made 9 brave attempts, alternating between fast and slow crawls, but failing every single time. Watching from below, the king was convinced the spider was done. He called it a foolish thing, certain that after tumbling so many times, it would finally stop trying to climb. But the spider started its 10th attempt. It crawled steadily until it was only a foot away from its door. In that anxious minute, the king watched to see if it would finally win or lose. Inch by inch, the spider got higher. Then, with a bold little run at the very last second, it pulled itself safely into its home. The spider didn't have any special powers or a better strategy this time. Its success came solely from the fact that it simply refused to stop trying. "Bravo!" the king cried out. He jumped to his feet, cheering for the tiny creature that had just accomplished the impossible. The king realized that if a tiny, fragile insect could overcome its obstacles through persistence, he had the strength to do the same. Bruce of Scotland braced his mind and threw away his sadness. He felt a surge of new focus and turned back toward the great deed he had almost abandoned. He tried once more, putting the spider's example into action, and that time he did not fail. The spider's climb showed the king that his previous 9 failures weren't the end. They were the preparation rounds for his final victory. While you might not be a king, but your personal struggles, like a bad grade or losing a game, feel just as significant as Bruce's battle for Scotland. Failure is a stepping stone. It provides the specific experience needed to eventually reach the goal. When you hit a wall, it's okay to take a moment and breathe. But after you catch your breath and steady yourself, the only true path forward is to try one more time. Every great achievement starts with the courage to face a setback and keep moving. Stick with the work, and that effort will eventually pay off.